Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Eatin Good in the Woods, channel that shows you just cause you're camping doesn't mean you gotta eat like a hobo. But listen, Rodney couldn't be with us this week because him and Miss Lucinda are guest speakers at the International Beef Jerky Symposium in Dublin. Not Dublin, Ireland, Dublin, Ohio. They won't let Rodney out of the country. So he's off doing that, and he left me to do the recipe this week, which is just fine. Now listen, we're coming up on St. Patrick's Day, and can you think of anything you'd rather have than a nice Irish soda bread? I didn't think so. So we're gonna make it in the Dutch oven so you can take it camping with you. So listen, y'all stick around, I'm gonna show you how. Before we go any further, I'd like to remind you guys, please don't forget to mash that subscribe button, give me a big old thumbs up, maybe even leave me a comment or two. I sure would appreciate it. What we're going to need for this here recipe is some buttermilk, some all-purpose flour, some butter, some salt, caraway seeds, some currants, and some baking soda. Let's go ahead and get that butter melting. Alright, let's drop that stick of butter in this little saucepan here and make sure you do it on a low heat. And always save the butter paper. I'll show you why here in just a little bit. Now we're going to start with 4 cups of all-purpose flour. And to that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. Now I've been to Ireland a couple of times and they always put caraway seed in their soda bread, so we're going to do it too, about a tablespoon. And you can use raisins if you like. They use currants in Ireland, and that's what we're going to use. I think they taste a little nicer. We better give that butter a look. Well, that butter's coming along just fine. Now we need to mix all of the dry ingredients and make sure they're well mixed. And like my granny used to tell me when making biscuits, make sure you scrape the sides and then make a little well in the middle for your wet ingredients. Now once you've done that, we're going to start adding the wet ingredients. And this is 1 3/4 cup buttermilk. And then that stick of melted butter. Now we're just going to start gently folding these ingredients together. And then we're going to start mixing it and kneading it. Now, if you find that your dough is just a little too dry, you can slowly add in just a little bit of buttermilk until you get to the consistency of a nice dough. I wound up adding about another 1/4 cup of buttermilk. After you're done kneading it and got it rolled into a nice ball, we're going to get the Dutch oven ready. Remember I told you to save that paper? Well, here's why. I'm going to grease the bottom of that pan, make sure nothing sticks. And we're also going to add some parchment paper. The butter on the sides and the bottom, make sure the parchment paper stays in place. Then we're going to take that nice ball of dough and stick it right in the middle. And then we're going to get a sharp knife and score it across the top in a cross, about 3/4 of an inch deep. Now, Mrs. Eatin Good in the Woods told me she heard this was to let the fairies out. But my friend Susan over at Rhubarb and Cod, link in the description, said she had heard it was to let the devil out. I'm not sure which is which, but it sure makes it pretty. So we're going to need 400 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour. And to get that, we're going to need 28 coals. We're going to put 9 on the bottom and the rest on top. And that should get us in and around 400 degrees.
Now when I go to refresh these coals, I'm not going to do the bottom. Now we'll set that Dutch oven on top and have a look at that ball again. Then we're going to pour the rest of the coals on top. Now you want to get them arranged around the rim. If you've wondered, why does this thing have a rim on it? Well, now you know. There it is.
It's been about 15 minutes. Let's go check on that.
Well, it's getting there, isn't it? Make sure you rotate that lid. Avoid hot spots.
Well, it's a little bit chilly out today, so I wound up putting some more coals on top. So I added about another 9 coals on top.
Well, that seemed to do the trick. About 9 more coals, I put them on top there, and it got it up to temperature. We'll give it another couple minutes and take a look. That looks almost done. When you thump it and it sounds hollow, that means it's done. But we'll try with a toothpick. Nah, a little bit come out with it. We're going to let it go another few minutes. Took a little longer than expected, but let's do the toothpick test again. Come out clean. It is done. D-U-N, done. Let's cut her open and have a look at it. Whoo, ain't that pretty? Hey, if you're enjoying this kind of content, please consider supporting this channel by clicking one of the links in the description. Thanks a bunch.
Ooh, I want you to look. Goodness gracious, that right there turned out fantastic. It's going to be hardly fit to eat. We'll keep going till we find a good spot, won't we? I guess all we got left to do is give her a taste, don't we? Well, let's get after that. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors. That there's delicious. Y'all stick around for next week's episode, which is going to be on St. Patrick's Day. And I'm going to show you what I did with that there soda bread. Well, listen, y'all. Y'all going out there, be nice to one another. These are hard times, and just know I sure love you. God bless you guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.